Good morning, this is Bobby with Renaissance Game Supply. So today's video I wanted to kind of go over and talk about card spikes. Some of the stuff I've been seeing, some of the stuff that's been public. So I check every day and then I come back out here to the card store and go through the backstock and just pull cards. So one of the things I've been noticing since my last video, I think it was card mill versus card spikes. So what I wanted to show in that was once you have everything organized, pulled, it should be very easy to come out here and just pluck out the cards that have gone up in value, providing of course your bulk has that. So oh man, tired a little still. So out here I've been noticing mainly some commons and uncommons I've been keeping an eye on. I don't know if Library of Ling is common or uncommon, maybe it's a rare. So I just kind of come down through and I look and I'm like, well, maybe I have that card. So I have a whole section of stuff that's just dual deck stuff, so I might have that card, I just haven't found it yet. Have not really been looking for that particular one. But the ones I look for, like Well of Knowledge, I know I have that card, I'm just waiting for it to go up more. I have that in a binder. Stuff like this, Thief of Blood, I may not have that because I don't really have a lot of Commander Anthology. But some of this other stuff, it might be kind of down here further on the list because this is the, I think this is the one that's spiked, yeah, since last week. I always check this section too because sometimes you get stuff like this, like Lutri the Spell Chaser. So I had 3 of those sell for about 27 cents a piece, and now kind of look where they are. So those sold before they spiked. So not quite sure how to read the market yet to figure out which cards are going to spike. There's some of you out there that are pretty savvy that know which cards are going to spike. Maybe you're watching the card tournaments and stuff like that, but I haven't had time to watch any of it, keep an eye on it. So those are cards that kind of got away from me this week. But the cards that don't, and cards I can sit on, are the ones that are still in backstock, still not part of my inventory at this time. Stuff I want to get online eventually, but it's so time consuming to do all this. I'm not gonna lie. Let's see here. So some of the cards I'm not really seeing. So Cobble Therapy is a card that I found. I put that in the last video, so it's kind of cool to see that that's still slightly climbing up. Let's see here. There's a lot of cards that I just simply don't have that are going and moving. Here we go. Foil. I don't know if I put that in the last video, but if I did, I apologize. I'm going to put it in this one too, just because I want to just kind of show you. So that one there was worth less than $1 not very long ago. So I found 3 lightly played conditioned ones, and then this one here is kind of hammered a little bit. Been through some tournaments and such, I'm sure. So that one there I kind of wrote off as damaged. So either way, I mean, still they're roughly, I think, $11-12 cards at the moment. I know that this one here says $13.05, but I think these are like your near mint prices. They're not your lightly played and your moderate played prices. So I found those cards, and then just from a card spike, and I might have put this in the previous video, maybe I didn't, but we're gonna include it again. These are Dans, and I think I found 27 of these, and I only mention them because they're over $1. There was a huge chunk of them in there, so it didn't make any sense to not include them. And the other thing too, just this past week when I was organizing cards for inventory, I uploaded I think 4,000 commons and uncommons and rares from Revised. I did Kaldheim, and I also did Guilds of Ravnica, and I can't remember the other set. There's another set. But anyway, going through there I found a bunch of masked vandals So all these sold as of this morning. So I've got an order right here in my hand. Somebody in Orlando, Florida. You're getting 12 copies of Masked Vandal. So again, those are like $1.15 a piece. And then as I was doing Chaldean, I did notice on this list over here that Elven Ambush from Chaldean, it's an uncommon that's been going up in value. I was hoping to find it and share it here with you, but I still haven't been able to find it. So there's Elven Ambush. That has not sold yet. Here we go. Exactly the card I wanted to show you as well. Library of Leng, 5th edition. Didn't find it in time, so it's starting to fall in price, but still $7.50. So I found one of those. I'm sure there's more. I have a shit ton of white border still to go through. But anyway, just as I'm going through stuff, I find stuff and I'll pull it out. And here we go. Here's an unlimited holy strength, sorry. And then there's an unlimited pearled unicorn. And I found an unlimited phantom monster. So those unlimited cards, they'll just go in my personal collection, because normally I won't sell anything alpha, beta, or unlimited. Everything else is always up for sale. Old school foils, if I have duplicates, I'll sell them. If I don't, I'll keep my first copy of those. So today, I'm looking for standstills. I might have those in my Odyssey back there. So we'll dig for those. We'll dig for some Library of Leng today. See if we can find any. Let's see, what else? I probably don't have any of these. That kind of stuff usually was pretty well picked through. I think I've looked for Flamekin Harbinger before, haven't really found any. It's hard to get the stuff from Plane Chase. It's not a very common set to find in bulk. Sterling Grove from Invasion. That, I might have some of those, so I'll check Invasion and Odyssey today to kind of look for those two cards. The other thing I like to do too is always look for the cards that are falling in price as well. Just because it's falling one week doesn't mean it's not going to pick back up the next week. So I tend to keep an eye on that. What was it? Nurgle's Rot right there. I know I don't have a bunch of that. It's hard to get the University Beyond stuff in bulk unless a lot of people bought the boxes and cracked them and put them away or whatnot. Treetop Village, I got a few of these, found a foil version, so probably not gonna let that go anytime soon. Mishra's Factory, I don't think I've found many of these. I have a shit ton of white border, so I haven't really been able to really dig deep into the white border stuff yet. So anyway, we're gonna jump to the next page here. And this is why I like having all my stuff organized. It makes it easy to kind of just dig through the sets and look for the stuff that spikes. And when I'm digging through other cards and organizing and getting sets ready to go up, I'll kind of just hand scan through them real quick. And that's how I found the Dans and the Masked Vandals. Just doing some accidental discovery there. So then the other thing I kind of look for is, what the market spikes are, not just the regular spikes, but the market spikes. So I like to dig through here, kind of see like Iconic Masters Lightning Helix. Wow, that's a big jump, 34 cents to 313. So I probably have a bunch of this from Iconic Masters, so that's one that's new to me as of today. So I'll dig through our collection, kind of go through that. Another one I've been noticing is Mudslide. Now I have a bunch of Ice Age cards, and I know that this one is a rare. I did not know it was a reserve list card, so I will check and see, because I found all kinds of reserve list stuff that 2 summers ago when I bought this, 2 million cards, I had not had a chance. So a lot of the stuff I'm pulling is stuff that spiked in the last 2 years, 2 summers, whatever. So This right here is a card that's been going up. I have Mirrodin Besieged all organized out as well, so I'll look for that this morning. Coastal Tower from Invasion. Again, I have Invasion already organized, so I'll look for 2 of the cards from that set. This is hard to get, some of these commanders, so a lot of times cards like this, Soul Ring, stuff like that don't really make it into the bulk, but sometimes it does, so it's not stuff I'm going to specifically go and search for, because I'll organize out all my stuff by set commander sets anyway. So when I get ready to upload them, that's when I usually will discover those card spikes. Counter spell. Every time I see that card, I pull it. I just know that it's a very popular spell. Probably already sold these before they kind of started going up again, so it doesn't surprise me that when I see it go up. Let's see here. Lorwyn, Impervious Perfect. Always been a wonderful card. Anybody that runs an elf deck, it's an absolute inclusion. I had a version of it, sold it already last summer when I broke up my elf deck. Kenris Transformation, I probably have that somewhere, because I have Commander Wilds of Eldraine already broke out. Prowess of the Fair, probably have that. Anything that's in, elf related. There for a while when I was collecting goblins, elves, demons, dragons, angels, all that kind of creature lore, I would automatically collect at least 1 copy of everything. So that I probably got that in a binder somewhere, so I'll probably pull that out. Elvish Harbinger, had numerous copies of that at one point. Those are all sold. Pitiless Plunderer, that's always up and down, up and down. So anytime I get copies of that, they just sell. Very rarely do I ever find it in bulk for that reason. Library of Lang, again, like I told you, I just showed you, I have that. I have numerous copies of Library of Lang, I just never know which printing it is. But again, they're all in the white border bulk. There's another 4th version, or 4th edition version. So the other stuff I'm kind of looking for is just like this. Nature's Lore. This little uncommon stuff is going to be not very hard for me to find in these set commanders, because a lot of times what happened is they would buy cases of set commanders, break it, pull out the valuable stuff, everything like was $3 or less, they threw it in bulk. Or they would organize somewhat, and I would just happen upon the sets as I'm out here organizing. Brave the Sands, probably don't have very many of those. I had probably a bunch when it was in standard. Bottomless Pit, probably not going to have a bunch of that, even though I have a bunch of Stronghold. Ether Drift, stock up. Now this card here is a different story. I have Ether Drift, I have not even added to the store inventory yet. I did crack the box, so I'll go look for that. That appears that it may be an uncommon as well, so should have a couple copies of that if I crack the box. Temur Ascendancy, I don't have that. I don't have very much Time Spiral Remastered. I think I got like 3 800 count sleeves of that, so probably not very likely. So this is the kind of stuff that I like to do now when I have a bunch of cards already organized out. Sets broken out. They're not alphabetized yet, so that would make it too simple. Pyroblast, might have a bunch of that lying around in the white border. Might have that card there as well. Again, I got Ether Drift, I need to get it uploaded. Astronaut's Altar from Eternal Masters. Now I do have a bunch of Eternal Masters that I have not organized into the store, so there's a chance I may have a couple of these kicking around in there. It just depends on how much it's spiked in the last 2 years, to be honest with you, because again, I bought this stuff like the last large load was 900,000 cards back in September of 2024. So yeah, it's anything that spiked from then, I should have plenty of it, probably. Elven Ambush, It's the different version, but as you can see, it's on the list. 13.1% growth, and probably the last week or two. I probably don't have that from Chronicles, but maybe I do. I mean, there's so much white border, like it's just ridiculous. I need to go through it eventually, kind of make it a priority here at some point. Judgment, Cobble Therapy, again, I showed you I had one. Mine was damaged, so I think it's right around 17, 16 bucks. I don't think this market price is quite accurate yet. I think it's up a little higher for like a near mint or lightly played condition. Let's see here. Nazguls, I never find these. I mean, they've been up in value ever since the day that they were all cracked. I've only pulled one out of a pack ever, so very rarely ever will find that. Let's see. I have this. So I've been kind of keeping an eye on some of the reserve list stuff that's like below $50, just kind of hanging on to them, holding on to them. A lot of this stuff is stuff I've found in this bulk collection. So then we kind of go over here to all the ones, I won't call them losers, but for lack of a better word, they're losing this week, so we will define them as losers, just for simplicity's sake. So I'll come through here and I'll look as well. Like these Pyretic Rituals, I used to play the shit out of these, and I don't know, some of the player groups I'd play with, they thought it was, you know, a card for what it was, but didn't really understand why I'd spend 2 mana just to get 3, and it's like, I don't know. I always liked gimmicky little red spells like this. Anything give me a little extra edge, especially in burn decks or really fast goblin decks. So I'd always splash this stuff in there. So it's not surprising seeing it drop. I mean, it is an uncommon, or is it a common? It's a common. Never really understood why it had jumped to that kind of a level in price. I mean, to me, that's 50-cent card all day long. But I sold all my copies of it, all my foil copies of them, back in the day when they jumped, I think like $5-6 bucks. Let's see here, Mirage Worldly Tutor, I had one in my elf deck, that one's sold now. Nest of Scarabs, I already covered that in the last video. We had 9 of those, I think, and those all sold. Just like the Masked Vandals sold. A lot of times we get store owners who shop us, and they're probably our biggest customers, so we're kind of like a reseller to, you know, local card shops, and they will just buy out mass quantities of stuff from us. So a lot of times I get cleared out pretty quick, which is why I like doing what I do. It's why I will list, you know, 27 copies of Dan, Masked Vandals, I mean, just whatever. Patchwork Banner, this is the one I was kind of looking for. Anytime I run into Bloomburrow, I will always pull Bloomburrow and a few other of these little sets that I don't have much of, and then I kind of start digging, because I know that some of these little uncommons kind of started spiking up out of nowhere. Let's see, Quest for Renewal. I don't get a lot of World Awake, but when I do, I look for this card, Blowfly Infestation. I've been looking for this one for a little minute, have not found either one of those. Dark Rituals, anytime I find Dark Rituals, I always pull them. Any version of it, doesn't matter. Whisper Silk Cloak, I always pull those. Those always sell. Gush, haven't had any of those for a minute, but those move quite significantly. Snaps always move. Moon Mist, I found a pair of those. I don't know if folks are just waiting for them to tank more in value or not, but at one point when I found them, they were like $5 a piece. Elemental Bond, I don't exactly have that version, but I do have some. So Path to Exile, it's kind of interesting. It used to be a $10 card, but it's been reprinted to hell. Red Elemental Blast. I don't have the 4th edition, but I did think I found a revised version the other day, so I got that uploaded. Hickory Woodlot. I had a ton of these, and then all of a sudden they spiked in value, and I got cleaned out, and I don't think I have one left. Vault of Whispers. I have the Meriden versions of these. I don't have this Foundation's Jumpstart. Daru War Chief. I don't think I have many of these, but I can check Scourge. Let's see, Urza's Destiny, Bubbling Muck. I don't think I have any of that. I'd be surprised if I did. Into Floodmaw. Yeah, probably not much. Open the Armory. I have a bunch of those. Storm-Killed Artist. I did look for some of these. I didn't find any in my backstock, so they must have been worth a little bit at the time when the set was hot. Yeah, I don't think I found a single copy. So there you go. So just kind of an idea of, you know, if you're going to build to the scale that I've built and you've got enough room and you've got your backstock all organized and whatnot, just do yourself a favor. Like once a week, just come out here, jump on MTG stocks, go to the interests, and just toggle between your regular and your market. You can do foil as well. Sometimes I don't because I have boxes and boxes of foil cards, but no time to really go through them. So stuff like this, I would just kind of look and see if I have it in my personal collection, this older stuff. And if it gets to be a significant value and that's the only copy I got, I would put it out. I don't care. Chances of me running into it again is not too far off. I mean, I buy collections all the time, so stuff just randomly is in boxes, and people don't go through them as well as they probably should before they get rid of them. And then some of this stuff, like the foil rares, I'm gonna have probably no chance of getting, but like these commons and uncommons, absolutely, they're like ravenous rats. I always pull this. It's a foil version, but even the non-foil version, I just always pull them. They always sell. There's all kinds of rat deck players out there, and that kind of stuff just flies out of here. So I always look through here, just I don't focus on it too much. I always kind of look to see if there's certain cards I'm looking for foiled decks I have, and I always kind of browse through to kind of see which ones fell in value this week too. So sometimes it's significant. Like, I mean, there's a $12 loss right there. So if you're gonna get one, maybe now's the time. I always look at this too, the spikes for the week, not just for the day. So that's kind of interesting that a foil was 35 cents and now today it's $11.14. That's a crazy jump. 3,082.9% jump. So I probably have these in foil in that big box of foil cards I have, because this is like, it's got rares, it's got commons, uncommons, new, it's got old, it's got foil. I mean, tokens, it's got foil lands in that box. And I don't know, I think the previous owner of this bulk, they just didn't want to deal with foils, so they just separated it out and put it in a box. Maybe they're going to do things with it later, like I plan to do, and they just finally just said, nope, I'm done. And I don't blame them, because dealing with all this bulk is extremely time consuming here. So I know for a fact I don't have any of this foil, but I have a bunch of this non-foil. So it's kind of cool to see that the foil version's starting to tick up this past week. So maybe folks are buying the non-foil version, and maybe I'll see this kind of on the regular chart next week that's starting to climb in value a little bit. So again, I just kind of read through these lists a little bit, start memorizing some names, and just keep an eye on it. Ram through. It's crazy that foil is worth that much. So anyway, we're probably going to wrap up this video. I mean, I'm sure you all are well versed with MTG stocks and their interest page and whatnot, but that's how I use it. That's how I use it to find value. and it helps with boosting sales. I mean, again, I got this one sale because of Mask Vandal. I got this one sale because of Black Vice. They bought 4th edition that were damaged. And this sale over here, it's because I put up a bunch of Commander Legends Battle for Baldur's Gate cards. So they bought 7, 9, 15, 30, 37 cards from that set. So again, I just focus on commander sets, set commander sets, stuff like that. So if you're looking to get into this business and you don't know what to list first, start with your special sets, start with your commander sets, your foundations and your stuff like that, and you know, just your loose stuff. Get some tokens up there, stuff like that, because sometimes people will submit an order for nothing but tokens, nothing but lands. Old school lands, played lands, heavily played, damage, all that. You got some collectors out there that they like to collect and play with those damaged old lands because they're authentic. I mean, they were well played, so to speak. So anyway, we're gonna get these orders packed, and we'll be back out here later today when it warms up a little bit, and I won't have to wear a coat the whole time. So appreciate you all for watching. Hopefully we'll find some more stuff, and if you find stuff in your bulk too, you know, tag me in your videos. I'll check them out. I mean, I think it's awesome when you find hidden value in your collections, especially when it's a card spike and something that was worth less than $1 one week, all of a sudden it's worth, you know, $7, $8, $9, $10, or even $5. It's exciting. It's just pure profit for you. So anyway, we're gonna get some of this other stuff listed and filed and put away. So y'all have a great day. Thanks for watching.